Miguel stood on the sidewalk with his small bundle of flowers. His feet hurt. He had been standing there for hours. The sun was getting lower in the sky. Soon it would be dark. He needed to sell more flowers before he could go home. The boy was only 8 years old, but he looked tired like someone much older. His brown eyes watched every person who walked by. Most people did not even look at him. They walked past quickly, talking on their phones or laughing with their friends. Miguel tried to smile at them anyway. His teacher always said that smiling made people feel happy. Maybe if he smiled, someone would stop and buy a flower. The flowers in his hands were roses. They were red and pink and white. Miguel's boss had given him 20 roses that morning. He wrapped them in clear plastic that crinkled when he moved. Each rose cost $5. If he sold all 20, he would make $100. But his boss would take half of that money. Miguel would only get to keep $50. Still, $50 was a lot of money to him. So far, Miguel had only sold 3 roses. That meant he had 17 left. He had been standing outside this restaurant since 3 o'clock. School ended at 2:30 and he ran straight here. He did not go home first. He did not stop to play with the other kids. Every minute was important. Every minute was a chance to sell another flower. Miguel's stomach made a noise. He was hungry. He had not eaten lunch at school that day. His mother had packed him a sandwich, but he saved it for his little sister Maria. Maria was only 5 years old. She was sick, very sick. She needed medicine every day, and medicine cost a lot of money. More money than Miguel's mother could make, even though she worked at 2 different jobs. The restaurant behind Miguel was fancy. Rich people came here to eat. Miguel had never been inside. He knew he could never afford to eat at a place like this. Sometimes, when the door opened, he could smell the food. It smelled so good. His stomach would hurt even more when he smelled it. But he tried not to think about food. He tried to think about Maria instead. Maria had something wrong with her lungs. The doctor said she needed special medicine to help her breathe better. Without the medicine, she would cough all night long. Miguel would hear her in the room they shared. It was a small room in their small apartment. Sometimes Maria coughed so hard that she could not sleep. When she could not sleep, Miguel could not sleep either. He would hold her hand in the dark and tell her stories until the coughing stopped. Their mother worked at a cleaning company during the day. She cleaned office buildings downtown. Then at night she worked at a grocery store. She would come home very late smelling like cleaning soap and looking so tired. She never complained, but Miguel saw the worry in her eyes. He saw how she counted every dollar carefully. He saw how she sometimes cried when she thought he was not looking. That was why Miguel started selling flowers. He wanted to help. He was only 8, but he was not too young to work. At least that is what he told himself. His mother did not like it. She said he should be playing and studying, not working. But Miguel did not listen. Every day after school he went to see Mr. Garcia, the man who sold flowers from a big cart downtown. Mr. Garcia gave Miguel 20 roses every day. Miguel would sell them and bring back the money. Mr. Garcia kept half and gave Miguel the other half. Miguel's shoes were old. They had holes in the bottom. When it rained, his socks got wet. Today was not a rainy day, but his feet still hurt from standing so long. He shifted his weight from one foot to the other. He looked at the people walking past him on the busy street. A woman in a pretty dress walked by. Miguel held up a rose. "Excuse me, ma'am. Would you like to buy a flower? Only $5. They are very fresh." The woman looked at him for just a second. Then she looked away and kept walking. She did not say anything. Not even "no thank you." Miguel put his hand down. He was used to this. Most people ignored him. But it still made him feel sad sometimes. A man in a business suit came next. Miguel tried again. "Sir, would you like a flower for someone special? They smell very nice." The man shook his head without stopping. He was looking at his phone. Miguel wondered what was on that phone that was so important. More important than looking at a little boy trying to sell flowers. The sky was turning orange and pink. Sunset was coming. Miguel knew he did not have much time left. Mr. Garcia said he had to return the unsold flowers by 8 o'clock. It was already past 6:30. If he did not sell more flowers soon, he would only make $15 today. $15 was not enough. Maria's medicine cost $300. His mother needed to buy it in 3 days. They only had $100 saved so far. They needed $200 more. Miguel did the math in his head. He was good at math. His teacher said so. If he made $15 today and $15 tomorrow and $15 the next day, that would only be $45. Not enough. Not even close. He needed to sell more flowers. He needed to work harder. Another couple walked by holding hands. Miguel stepped forward. Would you like to buy a rose? Perfect for a beautiful lady. He had heard grown-ups say things like that. The man smiled a little but shook his head. Not today, kid. At least this man was nice about it. At least he said something. Miguel looked down at his flowers. They were still beautiful. The petals were soft. The stems were green and strong. These were good flowers. Why did people not want them? Maybe they had enough flowers at home. Maybe they did not have anyone to give flowers to. Or maybe they just did not see him. Maybe to them he was invisible. A car honked on the street. Miguel looked up. Traffic was getting heavier. The street was full of cars now. People were leaving work and going home to their families. Miguel wished he could go home too. He wished he could sit down and take off his shoes. He wished he could eat something, but he could not yet. Not until he sold more flowers. He thought about Maria again. She was probably at home with their neighbor, Mrs. Lopez. Mrs. Lopez watched Maria after school when their mother was working. She was a kind old woman who made Maria soup and let her watch cartoons. Miguel was glad Maria had someone to take care of her. But he wished their mother could be there instead. He wished their mother did not have to work so much. A big black car pulled up to the front of the restaurant. It was shiny and expensive looking. Miguel had never seen a car like that before except on TV. The car was so big it looked like it could fit 10 people inside. Miguel straightened up. Maybe someone rich was inside. Maybe rich people like to buy flowers. The engine turned off. Miguel held his flowers a little higher. His heart beat faster. This might be his chance. This might be the person who would buy all his flowers. He practiced his smile. He practiced what he would say. He needed to sound polite. He needed to sound like this flower was the most special flower in the whole world. The car door started to open. Miguel took a deep breath. He stepped a little closer to the curb. This was it. This was his moment. He hoped whoever came out of that car had a kind heart. He hoped they would see him, really see him, and want to help. Because Miguel was not just selling flowers. He was selling hope. Hope for his little sister. Hope for his family. Hope that tomorrow would be a little bit better than today. The car door opened wide. A large man stepped out onto the sidewalk. He was very tall, taller than anyone Miguel had ever seen in person. His arms were big and muscular. He wore a simple black shirt and blue jeans. On his face were dark sunglasses even though the sun was almost gone from the sky. The man looked strong, like he could lift a car if he wanted to. But there was something else about him too. Something that did not seem scary. Miguel felt nervous. His hand started to shake a little. The flowers trembled in his grip. He had asked so many people to buy flowers today. Most of them said no. Some of them ignored him completely. What if this man was mean? What if he yelled at Miguel for standing too close to his fancy car? Miguel almost stepped back, almost walked away. But then he thought of Maria. He thought of her coughing in their dark room at night. He found his courage. The boy stepped forward and held up his bundle of roses. His voice came out smaller than he wanted it to. Excuse me, sir. Would you like to buy a flower? They are very fresh. Only $5 each. Miguel looked up at the tall man. He could not see the man's eyes behind those dark glasses. He could not tell what the man was thinking. The man stopped walking. He stood still and looked down at Miguel. For a long moment he said nothing. Miguel's heart beat fast in his chest. Then, slowly, the man reached up and took off his sunglasses. Miguel could see his eyes now. They were kind eyes, gentle eyes, eyes that looked at Miguel like he really saw him, not like he was invisible. Hey there, buddy, the man said. His voice was deep and warm like hot chocolate on a cold day. How long have you been standing out here? The man did not sound angry. He did not sound in a hurry. He sounded like he actually cared about the answer. Miguel swallowed. Since 3 o'clock, sir. Right after school. He tried to stand up straighter, tried to look like a good worker. He did not want the man to think he was lazy or making excuses. The man's eyebrows went up. He looked at his watch. That is more than 3 hours. Are you not tired? He stepped a little closer to Miguel. The boy noticed that the man moved carefully like he did not want to scare him. I'm okay, sir, Miguel said, but his feet hurt so much. and his stomach was so empty, and his arms were tired from holding the flowers all day. Still, he smiled. He had to keep smiling. That was part of selling flowers. Make people feel happy so they want to buy. The tall man studied Miguel's face. He looked at the boy's old shoes with the holes. He looked at the dirt smudges on Miguel's cheeks. He looked at how thin Miguel was, like he did not get enough food. The man's expression changed. It became softer, sadder, like seeing Miguel made him feel something in his heart. Then the man did something Miguel did not expect. He bent down. He got down on one knee right there on the sidewalk in his nice jeans, so he could be at Miguel's eye level. Now they were face to face. Now Miguel did not have to look up so far. The man was big and strong, but kneeling like this he seemed gentle, like a giant being careful not to step on a flower. "What is your name?" the man asked. "Miguel, sir. Miguel Rodriguez." No one ever asked Miguel his name. When people bought flowers, they just took them and paid and left. They did not care what his name was. "It is nice to meet you, Miguel. That is a good, strong name." The man smiled. It was a real smile, not a fake one. Miguel could tell the difference. He had seen many fake smiles today. This one reached the man's eyes. "Thank you, sir," Miguel said quietly. He did not know what else to say. This stranger was being so nice to him. It made Miguel feel something warm in his chest, but it also made him want to cry. He did not know why. Maybe because it had been such a long, hard day. Maybe because he was tired and hungry and worried about his sister. Maybe because someone was finally being kind to him. The man looked at the flowers in Miguel's hands. "These are beautiful roses. Did you pick them yourself?" he asked. "No, sir. Mr. Garcia gives them to me every day. I sell them and we share the money. Half for him, half for me." Miguel wanted to be honest. His mother always said honesty was important. "So you do this every day? After school?" The man's voice was gentle, but Miguel could hear something else in it. Concern, maybe. Or surprise, yes, sir. Monday through Friday. Sometimes on Saturdays, too, if Mr. Garcia has extra flowers. Miguel shifted the roses to his other hand. His arm was getting tired. The man was quiet for a moment. He looked at Miguel with those kind eyes. "Can I ask you something, Miguel? And I want you to tell me the truth, okay? You are not in any trouble. I just want to understand." He spoke slowly and clearly, making sure Miguel understood that he was safe. Miguel nodded. "Okay, sir. Why are you out here selling flowers instead of at home playing video games or watching TV or hanging out with your friends? You are just a kid. This is hard work for someone so young." The man's voice was not mean. He was not judging Miguel. He truly wanted to know. Miguel looked down at his shoes. The words were hard to say. He did not like talking about his problems. His mother said they should be strong and not complain. But this man was looking at him so kindly, and Miguel was so tired of being strong all the time. He was only 8 years old. Sometimes he just wanted someone to understand. "It is for my sister, sir," Miguel began. His voice was very quiet. "Her name is Maria. She is 5. She is sick. She has something wrong with her lungs and she needs medicine to help her breathe. The medicine costs a lot of money. My mom works 2 jobs, but it is still not enough. I wanted to help, so I sell flowers." The man listened to every word. He did not interrupt. He did not check his phone. He did not look away. He just listened like Miguel's words were the most important thing in the world. Miguel kept talking. Once he started, the words just came out. "My mom does not like me working. She says I should be a kid, but I see how tired she is. She works all day and all night. She cleans offices and then works at a grocery store. She comes home so late, and I see her counting money, trying to figure out how to pay for everything. I see her worry about Maria. I hear Maria cough at night and it sounds so bad like she cannot breathe. I want to help them. I have to help them." Miguel's eyes were getting wet. He blinked fast. He did not want to cry in front of this stranger, but talking about Maria made his heart hurt. He loved his little sister so much. She was small and sweet and she always smiled at him even when she felt terrible. She would share her toys with him. She would draw him pictures with her crayons. She deserved to be healthy. She deserved to run and play like other kids. The man's face changed while Miguel talked. His jaw got tight. His eyes got shiny like he might cry too. He put his hand on Miguel's shoulder. It was a big hand, but it was gentle. "You are a good brother," the man said. His voice sounded thick like he had something stuck in his throat. "Maria is lucky to have you," Miguel sniffed. I just want her to get better, sir. I know, buddy. I know. The man squeezed Miguel's shoulder softly. Then he asked, "How much does the medicine cost?" "For 1 month?" Miguel did the math in his head. His mother had told him the number many times. $300, sir. We need to buy it in 3 days. We only have $100 saved. We need 200 more. He looked at his flowers. I am trying to sell as many as I can. The man nodded slowly. He seemed to be thinking about something. His eyes looked far away for a second, like he was remembering something from long ago. Then he focused back on Miguel. How many flowers do you have left? He asked. Miguel counted quickly. 17, sir. I sold 3 today. He tried to sound proud of selling 3, but inside he felt disappointed. 3 was not very many. 3 was not enough. 17, the man repeated. He looked at the flowers again. Then he looked at Miguel. Then back at the flowers. Something changed in his expression. He made a decision. Miguel could see it happening on the man's face. Miguel, let me ask you something else. If someone bought all your flowers right now, how much would that be? Miguel's eyes went wide. All of them? Nobody ever bought all of his flowers at once. That would be 17 times 5. That is $85, sir. His heart started to beat faster. Was this man thinking about buying all of them? The man smiled. It was a big smile this time. $85, okay. He reached for his back pocket. He pulled out a leather wallet. It looked expensive with smooth black leather. Miguel watched as the man opened it. Inside, Miguel could see many bills. Green bills. Lots of them. Miguel held his breath. Was this really happening? Was this kind stranger about to buy all his flowers? His hand started shaking again, but this time it was not from nervousness. It was from hope. That dangerous feeling, hope. The feeling that maybe, just maybe, something good was about to happen. The man pulled out several bills from his wallet. Miguel watched his hands move. They were large hands, rough hands, the kind that had worked hard in life. The man counted the money carefully. Miguel could see the numbers, 20, 40, 60, 80, 100. The man kept counting. 120, 140. Miguel's breath caught in his throat. That was already more than $85, more than the cost of all his flowers. Why was the man still counting? Maybe he was just looking at his money. Maybe he was checking how much he had. Miguel tried not to get too excited. He tried not to hope too much. Hope could hurt when it got broken, but the man kept counting. 160, 180, 200. The bills made a small pile in his big hand. Then he counted out more. 220, 240, 260, 280, 300, 320, 340, 360, 380, 400. The man stopped counting. He looked at the money in his hand. Then he looked at Miguel. I will take all of them, he said simply. His voice was calm, like he was not doing something amazing. Like he was not holding more money than Miguel had ever seen at one time. Miguel stared at him. His mouth opened, but no words came out. All of them. This man wanted all 17 roses. That is $85, sir, Miguel finally said. His voice shook. For all 17 flowers. $85. He wanted to make sure the man understood. Sometimes people did not hear right. Sometimes they changed their minds, I know, the man said. He held out the bills. But he was not holding out $85.
He was holding out $400.
4 $100 bills. Green and crisp and more money than Miguel made in weeks of selling flowers. Miguel looked at the money. Then at the man. Then back at the money. Sir, that is too much. That is $400. The flowers only cost $85. His mother taught him to be honest. Always honest. Even when it was hard. The man smiled bigger. I know that too. Keep the change, all of it. This is for you. For you and your sister and your mother. He pushed the money gently toward Miguel. Miguel's hands started shaking so hard that the flowers almost fell. Sir, I cannot. This is too much money. I cannot take it, but even as he said it, his mind was racing. $400. That was enough for Maria's medicine. All of it. They would not have to worry for this month. His mother would not have to work extra hours. Maria would get her medicine on time. Yes, you can, the man said firmly but kindly. He took Miguel's free hand and placed the bills in it. Then he gently closed Miguel's fingers around the money. You are working hard for your family. That deserves respect. That deserves to be rewarded. You remind me of someone I knew a long time ago. Someone who did not give up no matter how hard things got. Miguel felt hot tears running down his cheeks. He could not stop them anymore. They just came. All the worry, all the fear, all the exhaustion of the past weeks and months came pouring out. He stood there on the sidewalk, holding $400 in one hand and 17 roses in the other, crying in front of this kind stranger. The man did not laugh at him. He did not tell him to stop crying. He did not look uncomfortable. Instead, he stayed kneeling there on the sidewalk. He pulled a white cloth from his pocket and handed it to Miguel. "It is okay, buddy. Let it out. You have been strong for a long time. Sometimes we need to let the tears come." Miguel wiped his eyes with the cloth. It was soft and clean. He tried to stop crying, but the tears kept coming. "Thank you," he whispered. "Thank you so much, sir. You do not know what this means. You do not know how much this helps." His voice broke on the words. "I think I do know," the man said quietly. There was something in his voice, something that said he understood. That maybe he had been in a hard place once too. That maybe he knew what it felt like to struggle and worry and work hard just to survive. Miguel took a deep breath, then another. Slowly the tears stopped. He looked at the money in his hand. It was real. This was really happening. He was not dreaming. "My mother will not believe this," he said. "She will think I am making it up." The man laughed. It was a warm sound like sunshine. "Then you will have to show her the money to prove it." He stood up from his kneeling position. His knees made a small cracking sound. He stretched a little. "Now I will take those beautiful flowers. I told you I wanted all of them, and I meant it." Miguel handed him the bundle of 17 roses. His hands were still shaking. The man took them carefully, like they were made of glass, like they were precious. "These are for my mother," he said. "She loves roses. Red ones are her favorite. She will be very happy to get these." "Your mother is lucky," Miguel said. "You are a good son." The man's eyes got soft again. "We both love our families. That is what matters most in life, Miguel. Not money, not fame, not anything else. Family, love, taking care of each other." He held the flowers in one arm and reached into his pocket with his other hand. He pulled out a small white card. "I want you to take this too." Miguel looked at the card. It was a business card. It had a name on it and a phone number. There was also a logo for some kind of company. The words were a bit hard for Miguel to read in the fading light. "What is this, sir?" "This has my assistant's number on it. I want you to call tomorrow. Or have your mother call. There is someone who can help make sure your sister gets her medicine every month. Not just this month. Every month." The man pressed the card into Miguel's hand on top of the money. Miguel stared at him in shock. "Every month? But sir, that is so much money. That is thousands of dollars. I cannot ask you for that. This $400 is already so generous." The man shook his head. "You are not asking. I am offering. When you call that number, they will help you. They will make arrangements. Your sister needs that medicine and she should have it. No child should suffer because medicine costs too much." His voice was strong and serious. "Promise me you will call." "I promise," Miguel whispered. He looked at the card again, trying to read the name in the dim light. But his eyes were still blurry from crying. He would look at it better later when he got home. When there was light, good. The man smiled at him one more time. He adjusted the roses in his arm. "You take care of yourself, Miguel Rodriguez. And take care of your sister and your mother. You are doing a great job, better than most grown men I know. Thank you, sir. Thank you for everything. I will never forget this. Never." Miguel wanted to say more. He wanted to explain how much this meant, how this changed everything. But the words were not big enough. No words were big enough for what he felt. "You are welcome, buddy." The man reached out and ruffled Miguel's hair gently. Then he turned toward the restaurant. He took a few steps carrying the bundle of roses. Miguel watched him go. His heart was so full it felt like it might burst. He looked down at the money in his hand. $400. And a business card with a phone number. A promise of more help to come. This was a miracle. That was the only word for it. A miracle. Then something happened that Miguel did not expect. As the man walked toward the restaurant door, other people started to notice him. A woman gasped. A man pointed. Someone pulled out a phone and started taking pictures. More people gathered, coming from different directions on the sidewalk. Vin Diesel! Someone shouted. Oh my God, is that really him? Another person said, can I get a picture? Please? A young woman called out. Miguel froze. Vin Diesel? That name sounded familiar. Where had he heard it before? His cousin Roberto loved action movies. He was always talking about some actor. What was his name? Miguel tried to remember. Vin something. Vin Diesel. That was it. Roberto watched his movies all the time. The Fast and Furious movies. The one with the cars and the racing. Roberto said Vin Diesel was the coolest action star in the world. Miguel looked at the tall man walking away from him. The man turned slightly to wave at his fans. That was when Miguel saw his face clearly, in the light from the restaurant entrance. The strong jaw, the muscular build, the confident way he moved. Miguel's eyes went wide. That was Vin Diesel, the movie star, the famous actor, the man Roberto had posters of in his room. Vin Diesel had just bought all of Miguel's flowers. Vin Diesel had just given him $400. Vin Diesel had just promised to help his sister get medicine every month. A real movie star, someone famous all around the world, someone who could go anywhere and do anything. And he had stopped to help Miguel. A poor boy selling flowers on the street. Miguel felt dizzy. His legs felt weak. He sat down right there on the sidewalk, not caring that it was dirty. He held the money close to his chest. He held the business card like it was made of gold. People walked past him, hurrying toward the restaurant to see the famous actor. But Miguel did not move. He just sat there trying to understand what had just happened to him. The streetlights came on above him. The sky was dark now. Miguel knew he should go home. His mother would worry if he was late. But he needed a minute, just 1 minute to let this sink in. He looked at the money again. He counted it to make sure it was real. 100, 200, 300, 400. Yes, it was real. He looked at the card. He could read it better now under the streetlight. It had a name and a company name and a phone number. Proof that this had really happened. Proof that he had not imagined it. Miguel stood up slowly. His feet did not hurt anymore. His stomach did not feel empty anymore. His heart felt light, lighter than it had felt in months. He started walking toward the bus stop. He would take the bus home. He would run into the apartment. He would show his mother the money. He would tell her everything. About the kind man. About the flowers. About the promise of more help. About discovering it was Vin Diesel. She would not believe him at first. He knew that. But he had proof. He had the money and the card. And tomorrow they would call that number. Tomorrow everything would start to change. Tonight Maria would get her medicine. She would not have to wait. She would not have to suffer. She would be okay. Miguel started to run. He could not wait to get home. He could not wait to see Maria's face when he told her. He could not wait to hug his mother and show her that miracles did happen. That kindness was real. That good people existed in the world. People who saw a poor boy selling flowers and did not just walk past. People who stopped. People who cared. People who helped. Miguel ran down the sidewalk toward the bus stop. His old shoes slapped against the concrete. He did not care that his feet hurt. He did not care that he was out of breath. All he could think about was getting home, getting to his mother and Maria, telling them what happened, showing them the money that would change everything. The bus stop was 3 blocks away. Miguel ran past the familiar shops and restaurants, past the corner store where his mother sometimes bought milk, past the laundromat where they washed their clothes every Sunday. Everything looked the same as always, but Miguel felt different. The whole world felt different now, brighter, fuller of hope. He reached the bus stop and bent over, breathing hard. His lungs burned. His side hurt. But he was smiling. He could not stop smiling. An old woman sitting on the bench looked at him with concern. "Are you okay, child? Why are you running so fast?" Miguel straightened up. "I am okay, ma'am. I am better than okay. I am going home." He wanted to tell her everything. He wanted to tell everyone. But he needed to tell his family first. They deserved to know first. The bus came 5 minutes later. It was the number 12 bus, the one Miguel rode every night. The same bus driver was there, Mr. Johnson. He was a kind man with gray hair. He always let Miguel ride even when Miguel's bus pass was expired. "Evening, Miguel," Mr. Johnson said as Miguel climbed on. You look happy tonight. Good day selling flowers? The best day ever, Mr. Johnson, the best day of my whole life. Miguel put his coins in the slot. He usually only had enough for one way. He would walk home to save money, but tonight he had $400. He could afford the bus fare. He could afford anything. Miguel found a seat by the window. He held his backpack tight in his lap. The money was inside, tucked into the front pocket. He kept his hand on it, making sure it was safe. The bus started moving, rumbling down the familiar streets. Miguel watched the city pass by outside the window. The lights, the people, the cars, everything looked beautiful tonight. His mind drifted back to the moment with Vin Diesel. He still could not believe it. A real movie star had talked to him, had listened to his story, had cared about Maria. Miguel thought about what Vin Diesel said, about family being the most important thing, about taking care of each other. Those words meant something. They were not just nice words. They were true words, words that mattered. Miguel wondered about Vin Diesel's life. He was so famous, so rich. He could have ignored Miguel. He could have walked right past like everyone else. But he did not. He stopped. He kneeled down. He listened. He helped. That said something about who he was inside. Being famous did not make him too important to care about a poor boy on the street. The bus stopped at another corner. More people got on. A tired-looking man in work clothes. A woman with 2 small children. A teenager with headphones. They all found seats. They all looked normal, ordinary, just like Miguel. But Miguel did not feel ordinary tonight. He felt special. He felt seen. For once in his life, someone important had really seen him. Miguel's thoughts turned to what he would say to his mother. How would he explain this? She would be worried that he was late. She would ask why he did not come straight home. Then he would tell her. He would tell her about the tall man with kind eyes, about selling all 17 roses, about the $400, about the business card, about Vin Diesel. Would she believe him? His mother was practical. She did not believe in fairy tales or lucky breaks. Life had taught her to be careful, to not hope for too much, but this was real. The money was real. She could hold it in her hands. She could count it. She could use it to buy Maria's medicine tonight. Right now. They would not have to wait. They would not have to worry. The bus turned onto Miguel's street. His heart beat faster. Almost home. Almost there. He stood up and moved to the door. Thank you, Mr. Johnson, he called to the driver. You are welcome, son. You have a good night. Mr. Johnson smiled at him in the big mirror. The bus stopped and Miguel jumped off. He started running again. Down the block. Past the playground where he used to play before he started working. Past Mrs. Chen's restaurant where the smells of fried rice and noodles made his stomach growl. Past the bodega on the corner with its bright lights and crowded shelves. His apartment building came into view. It was old and gray. The paint was peeling. Some windows had cracks. But it was home. Miguel ran faster. He pulled open the heavy front door and ran into the lobby. The elevator was broken, like always. So he ran up the stairs. First floor. Second floor. Third floor. His legs burned, but he did not slow down. Fourth floor. Almost there. He reached the 5th floor and ran down the hallway. Number 5C, that was his apartment. The door with the scratched paint and the number 5 that hung a little crooked. Miguel dug in his pocket for his key. His hands shook as he unlocked the door. He pushed it open.
Mama Maria!
I am home! He heard footsteps. His mother appeared from the kitchen. She wore her cleaning company uniform, the light blue one. Her hair was pulled back in a bun. Her face looked tired but worried. Miguel, where have you been? I was so worried. You are an hour late. She rushed to him, checking him over with her eyes. Are you hurt? Did something happen? Mama, I am fine. Better than fine. Something amazing happened. Miguel dropped his backpack and reached inside. His fingers found the bills. He pulled them out. Look at this. His mother stared at the money in his hand. Her eyes went wide. Miguel, what is that? Where did you get that? Her voice was sharp with worry. Did you steal this?
Tell me right now. No, Mama!
No, I did not steal anything. I promise. A man bought my flowers. All of them. And he gave me this money. $400, Mama. 400. Miguel's words tumbled out fast. He was so excited he could barely speak clearly. His mother took the money from him. She counted it slowly. Her hands shook. This is real money. $400. She looked at Miguel with confusion and fear. What man? Who gave you this? Miguel, tell me everything. Right now. Before Miguel could answer, a small voice came from the bedroom. Miguel, is that you? Maria appeared in the doorway. She was so small in her pink pajamas. Her dark hair was messy from lying down. She coughed, that terrible cough that made her whole body shake. Miguel ran to her and hugged her gently. Maria, yes, it is me. And I have the best news. We can get your medicine tonight. Right now. We have the money. Maria looked up at him with her big brown eyes. Really, we do not have to wait? She coughed again. Really, we do not have to wait. Miguel felt tears in his eyes again. Happy tears this time. You are going to feel better soon. Their mother was still standing there holding the money. Miguel, explain this to me. Who gave you $400 for flowers? Miguel took a deep breath. Then he told her everything. He started from the beginning. From standing outside the restaurant all afternoon. From seeing the big black car pull up. From the tall man stepping out. He told her how the man kneeled down to talk to him. How he asked about Maria. How he listened to Miguel's story without interrupting. How he bought all 17 roses and paid $400. Then Miguel got to the best part. Mama, it was Vin Diesel. The movie star. You know, the one from Roberto's movies. He is the one who helped us. His mother sat down hard on the old couch. She stared at Miguel. Vin Diesel? The actor? She sounded like she did not believe it. Like she thought Miguel was making up a story. Yes, Mama, I did not know it was him at first. But then people started taking pictures and calling his name. It was really him. And he gave me this too. Miguel pulled out the business card. He said to call this number. He said someone would help make sure Maria gets her medicine every month. Not just this month. Every month, his mother took the card with shaking hands. She read it slowly. Then she read it again. Her lips moved as she said the words to herself. When she looked up, tears were running down her face. This is real. This is really happening. Her voice broke. Yes, Mama, it is real. Miguel sat next to her on the couch. Maria climbed up too, snuggling between them. His mother pulled both her children close. She hugged them tight. She cried into their hair. Miguel felt her whole body shaking with sobs. These were not sad tears. These were tears of relief, of joy, of disbelief that something so good could happen to them. I prayed, she whispered. Every day I prayed for help, for a miracle. I did not know if anyone was listening. I did not know if my prayers meant anything. But they did. They did. She kissed the top of Miguel's head. You are so brave, my son, so strong, working so hard for your sister. I am so proud of you. I just wanted to help, Mama. I did not want you to worry so much. Miguel hugged her back. They sat like that for a long time, the three of them on the old couch in their small apartment, holding each other, crying and laughing at the same time. Outside, the city continued its busy night. Cars honked. People walked by on the street below. Somewhere a siren wailed. But inside apartment 5C, there was peace. There was hope. There was love. Finally, Maria spoke up. Can we get my medicine now? I do not like coughing so much. Her small voice was tired. Their mother wiped her eyes. She stood up and looked at the clock on the wall. The pharmacy is still open. Yes, we can go right now. She looked at the money in her hand. We can get a whole month's supply, maybe 2 months if we are careful. And tomorrow we call the number, Miguel added. The one on the card. To get help for every month, his mother nodded. Yes, tomorrow we call. But first let me get my shoes. Let me get Maria's jacket. We are going to the pharmacy right now. Tonight my baby girl will breathe easier. She moved quickly, gathering their things. Miguel helped Maria put on her jacket. It was too small for her now. She had grown since last winter, but it was the only jacket she had. Soon you will feel better, he told his sister. Soon you will be able to run and play without getting tired. Maria smiled at him. Thank you, Miguel. You are the best brother in the whole world. You are the best sister in the whole world, he said back. He meant it. Everything he did, all the hours of standing and selling flowers, all the tired feet and hungry stomachs, it was all worth it for this smile. Their mother came back with her purse. Let us go. All three of us. We are going together. She took Maria's hand. Miguel took Maria's other hand. They walked out of the apartment together, locking the door behind them. As they went down the stairs, Miguel thought about Vin Diesel again. He thought about kindness, about how one person's generosity could change everything, about how caring for someone you did not even know could make such a difference. Someday, Miguel promised himself, when he was older and had money, he would help people too. He would remember what it felt like to struggle. And he would help others the way Vin Diesel helped him tonight. They stepped out into the cool evening air. The pharmacy was only 2 blocks away. They walked together, still holding hands. Above them, stars were starting to appear in the darkening sky. Miguel looked up at them and smiled. Tonight felt magical. Tonight felt like the beginning of something better. Tonight, hope was alive. Miguel woke up to sunlight coming through the thin curtains. For a moment, he forgot where he was. Then he remembered. Last night, the flowers, the money, Vin Diesel, everything came rushing back. He sat up quickly in bed and looked over at Maria. She was still sleeping, but her breathing sounded better, quieter, not wheezy like it usually was. They had gone to the pharmacy last night. His mother bought 2 months of medicine. The pharmacist, Mr. Patel, had looked surprised to see them so late. He was even more surprised when Miguel's mother paid in cash. He carefully counted out the bills and gave her the medicine in a white paper bag. Maria took her first dose right there in the pharmacy. Mr. Patel gave her a cup of water and watched to make sure she swallowed it correctly. On the walk home, Maria had held Miguel's hand tight. "I already feel better," she had said. Miguel knew the medicine did not work that fast, but he understood. Having the medicine, knowing it was in her body helping her, that made her feel better. Sometimes hope was its own kind of medicine. Miguel got out of bed quietly. He did not want to wake Maria. She needed her rest. He walked into the small kitchen. His mother was already there, sitting at the table. She still wore her nightgown. A cup of coffee sat in front of her, getting cold. She was staring at the business card that lay on the table. "Mama," Miguel said softly, "did you sleep?" She looked up at him. Her eyes were red, but she was smiling. "A little. I kept waking up thinking I dreamed it all. Then I would see the medicine bottle on the nightstand and know it was real." She picked up the card. "I have been looking at this for an hour, trying to decide what to say when I call." Miguel sat down next to her. "We just tell them the truth. We tell them about Maria, about her medicine, about what Vin Diesel promised." His mother nodded. "You are right. The truth is all we have." She looked at the clock on the wall. It was 7:30 in the morning. "What time do you think we should call?" "I do not want to call too early, but I do not want to wait too long either. What if they forget about us? What if this was just a nice gesture and nothing more?" Vin Diesel said to call. "He promised, Mama. I believe him." Miguel had seen the look in that man's eyes. That was not someone who said things he did not mean. His mother stood up. "You are right. We will call at 9 o'clock. That is a good time. Professional, but not too late." She went to the stove and started making breakfast. Eggs and tortillas. Simple food, but it smelled good. Miguel's stomach rumbled. He realized he had not eaten dinner last night. He had been too excited. They ate breakfast together in comfortable silence. The morning sun filled the small kitchen with warm light. Miguel heard Maria coughing in the bedroom, but it was a lighter cough. Not the deep, scary kind. She appeared in the doorway a few minutes later, rubbing her eyes. "Good morning, my love," their mother said. "How do you feel?" Maria smiled. "Better. My chest does not hurt as much." She climbed into a chair and their mother gave her a plate of eggs. Miguel watched his sister eat. She looked more like a regular 5-year-old this morning. Not a sick child struggling to breathe. The medicine was working. He felt a wave of gratitude so strong it almost hurt. "Thank you," he thought. "Thank you, Vin Diesel. Thank you for caring. Thank you for helping us." After breakfast, Miguel helped clean the dishes. His mother kept checking the clock. Finally, at 8:55, she picked up her phone. Her hands shook as she held it. "Should I call now? 5 minutes early is okay, right?" "Call, Mama, it is okay." Miguel stood next to her. Maria came and held his hand. They all stood together as their mother dialed the number from the card. The phone rang. Once, twice, 3 times. Miguel's heart pounded. What if no one answered? What if it was a wrong number? What if Vin Diesel had given them the wrong card by mistake? Then someone picked up. "Good morning, this is Sarah speaking. How may I help you?" The voice was friendly and professional. Miguel's mother cleared her throat. Hello, my name is Rosa Rodriguez. My son Miguel met someone yesterday, a man named Vin Diesel. He gave us this number and said to call. He said someone could help with my daughter's medicine. Her voice trembled as she spoke. There was a brief pause. Then the woman's voice came back warmer now. Yes, Mrs. Rodriguez, we have been expecting your call. Vin told us about your family, about Miguel and his sister Maria. He was very touched by your son's story. Miguel's mother's eyes filled with tears. He remembered our names, she whispered. She had to sit down. Miguel and Maria sat on either side of her. I cannot believe he remembered our names. Vin cares deeply about the people he meets, Sarah said. He asked us to help your family. Now let me get some information from you. What medication does Maria need? What is her diagnosis? Which pharmacy do you use? I want to make sure we have all the details correct. For the next 20 minutes, Miguel's mother answered questions. She gave Sarah all the information about Maria's condition. The name of her doctor, the name of the medicine, how much it cost each month. Sarah listened carefully and typed everything into her computer. Miguel could hear the quiet clicking of keys through the phone. All right, Mrs. Rodriguez, Sarah said finally. Here is what we are going to do. We have a foundation that helps families with medical expenses. Vin has asked us to cover Maria's medication costs for the next 2 years. The prescription will be fully paid for. You will not have to worry about it. Miguel's mother made a sound like a sob. She covered her mouth with her hand. 2 years? Did you say 2 years? Yes, ma'am. 2 years of full coverage. We will coordinate directly with your pharmacy and your doctor. All you need to do is pick up the medicine each month. There will be no charge to you. Sarah's voice was gentle. She had probably had conversations like this before. Conversations that change people's lives. I do not know what to say, Miguel's mother whispered. Thank you. Thank you so much. You do not know what this means to us. We are happy to help, Sarah said. And Mrs. Rodriguez? There is one more thing. Vin would like to meet your family again. He wants to invite you to a movie premiere next month. Would you be interested in attending? Miguel's eyes went wide. A movie premiere? Him, Maria? His mother? Going to a real Hollywood premiere? His mother looked at Miguel, then at Maria. Both children were staring at her with huge eyes. Yes, she said. Yes, we would love to come. That would be an honor. Wonderful. I will send you all the details by mail. The invitation will arrive next week. It will be a special evening. A chance for Vin to see how Maria is doing, and a chance for your family to see that good things do happen to good people. Sarah paused. Mrs. Rodriguez, your son impressed a lot of people yesterday. Vin posted about Miguel on his social media last night. The story is going viral. People all over the world are talking about the brave little boy who sells flowers for his sister. Miguel's mother looked confused. Social media? What do you mean? Vin has millions of followers. He shared Miguel's story about his hard work and his love for his family. People are very moved by it. You might get some attention from the media. Reporters might want to interview you. I just wanted to prepare you for that. Sarah sounded apologetic. Oh my, Miguel's mother said. She looked overwhelmed. I do not know if we want that kind of attention. We are just a regular family. That is exactly why people connect with the story, Sarah explained. Because you are real. Because your struggles are real. And because kindness in the face of struggle is powerful. But if you do not want to talk to reporters, that is completely fine. You can say no. This is your choice. They talked for a few more minutes. Sarah gave Miguel's mother her direct phone number in case there were any problems. She promised to follow up next week with the premiere details. Finally, they said goodbye and hung up. Miguel's mother set down the phone. She looked at her children. Then she started to cry. Not sad tears, happy tears, overwhelmed tears. Miguel and Maria hugged her from both sides. It is really happening, she said through her tears. It is all really happening. Maria will have her medicine for 2 years. 2 years? That is enough time for me to save money. Enough time to maybe get a better job. Enough time for everything to change. Miguel thought about what Sarah had said, about Vin Diesel posting on social media, about the story going viral. He had no idea what that meant exactly, but it sounded like a lot of people knew about him now, about what happened. That felt strange. He was just a regular boy trying to help his family. He did not do anything special. Mama, Maria said in her small voice, can I wear my pink dress to the movie premiere? Their mother laughed and wiped her tears. Yes, my love. You can wear your pink dress. Maybe we will even buy you a new one. A special dress for a special night. Miguel smiled. This was real. This was all really happening. Yesterday, he was a poor boy standing on a sidewalk hoping to sell enough flowers to help with medicine. Today, his sister had 2 years of medication covered. Today, they had an invitation to a movie premiere. Today, everything was different. His mother stood up and walked to the small window in the kitchen. She looked out at the city, the buildings, the busy streets below. You know what this means, Miguel? This means you do not have to sell flowers anymore. You can be a kid again. You can play. You can study. You can have friends over. She turned to look at him. You can have your childhood back. Miguel had not thought about that. For months, his life had been school and then work. Selling flowers every afternoon and evening. Coming home tired and hungry. Falling asleep worried about money. He had forgotten what it felt like to just be a kid. To play soccer with friends. To watch cartoons. To do homework without worrying about his sister's medicine. What will I do with all that time? He asked, half joking. His mother came and hugged him. You will be 8 years old. That is what you will do. You will be a child, my child. That is all I have ever wanted for you. Miguel hugged her back. He felt something release in his chest, something tight that had been there for a long time. He had been carrying so much worry, so much responsibility, and now, because of one kind stranger who stopped and listened and cared, that weight was lifting. The rest of the day passed in a happy blur. They played games together. They watched TV. Maria laughed more than Miguel had heard her laugh in months. The medicine was helping, but more than that, the stress was gone. The fear was gone. They could breathe again. All of them. That evening, Miguel's mother showed him Vin Diesel's social media post. She had asked the neighbor to help her find it online. There was a picture of Vin holding the bundle of roses. The caption told Miguel's story, about the hard-working boy trying to help his sick sister, about family and love and never giving up. Already the post had millions of likes, thousands of comments, people from all over the world saying kind things about Miguel, calling him brave, calling him an inspiration. Miguel read some of the comments. They made him feel strange, proud but also embarrassed. He did not think of himself as brave. He just did what he needed to do, what anyone would do for their family. But these people saw something special in it. They saw something worth celebrating. The world is good, Miguel, his mother said, reading over his shoulder. There are so many good people. People who care about strangers. People who want to help. We forget that sometimes. We see the hard parts of life and forget about the good parts. But this reminds us. Kindness is real. Miracles are real. Miguel nodded. She was right. Yesterday, he had stood on that sidewalk feeling invisible, feeling like no one saw him or cared about him. And then Vin Diesel stopped. He saw Miguel, really saw him, and everything changed. One act of kindness created a ripple. Now thousands of people were talking about helping others, about caring for your family, about not giving up. As Miguel got ready for bed that night, he felt different, lighter, happier. He climbed into his small bed and looked over at Maria. She was already asleep, breathing peacefully. Tomorrow he would go to school, but he would not have to rush out afterward to sell flowers. He could stay. He could play. He could be a kid. He closed his eyes and said a silent thank you. To Vin Diesel, to Sarah, to everyone who was helping his family. And he made a promise. When he grew up, when he had money and success, he would help people too. He would remember what this felt like. And he would pass on the kindness that had been given to him. That was how you change the world. One person at a time. One act of kindness at a time. 6 weeks passed like a dream. Miguel went back to being a regular kid. He played soccer after school with his friends. He did his homework without falling asleep from exhaustion. He laughed more. He smiled more. His mother said he looked younger now, like the weight of the world had been lifted from his small shoulders. Maria got stronger every day. The medicine was working. She could run without getting tired. She could play without coughing. Her cheeks got pink and healthy. She gained weight. She looked like a normal 5-year-old girl instead of a sick child. Every night, Miguel would hear her breathing softly in her sleep, and his heart would fill with gratitude. Their mother changed too. She still worked 2 jobs, but she was saving money now. Real money, Money that did not have to go to medicine. She talked about maybe going back to school, about learning new skills, about getting a better job someday. She smiled more. She sang while she cooked. The apartment felt different. It felt like a home filled with hope instead of worry. Miguel's story had spread far beyond Vin Diesel's social media post. News channels picked it up. Newspapers wrote articles about the flower boy and the movie star. People on the street recognized Miguel sometimes. They would stop him and tell him how much his story touched them. Some people sent money to help his family. Others sent toys and clothes for Maria. The mailbox in their building was always full of letters and packages. But through it all, Miguel stayed humble. He did not let the attention change him. He was still the same boy who loved his family and worked hard in school. He still helped his mother around the house. He still played with Maria and made her laugh. Fame did not interest him. What interested him was that Maria was healthy, that his mother was less stressed, that they were okay. Then the big envelope arrived. Inside was the invitation to the movie premiere. It was printed on fancy paper with gold letters. It said the Rodriguez family was invited to attend the premiere of Vin Diesel's new action movie. There would be a red carpet. There would be cameras. There would be other famous people, and Vin Diesel wanted them there as his special guests. Miguel's mother read the invitation 3 times. Her hands shook. "I have never been to anything like this. What do we wear? How do we act? What if we embarrass ourselves?" She looked scared and excited at the same time. "We will be ourselves, Mama," Miguel said. "That is what Vin Diesel liked about us. That we are real." The next week was a whirlwind of preparation. Sarah, Vin Diesel's assistant, helped arrange everything. She sent a stylist to their apartment. The stylist brought clothes for all 3 of them. A beautiful red dress for Miguel's mother, a pink princess dress for Maria that made her spin in circles with joy, and a sharp black suit for Miguel that made him look like a little gentleman. On the day of the premiere, a long black car came to pick them up. It was even bigger than the one Vin Diesel had arrived in that first night. The driver opened the door for them. Miguel's mother kept touching the soft leather seats. "I cannot believe this is real," she whispered. "I keep thinking I will wake up and it will all be a dream." Maria pressed her face to the window, watching the city go by. She wore her new pink dress and shiny black shoes. Her hair was done up with ribbons. She looked like a little princess. Miguel sat between his mother and sister, wearing his new suit. It felt strange but good. The jacket was warm. The shirt was crisp and white. The shoes were shiny and did not have any holes. The car drove through the city and pulled up to a huge theater. Miguel could see crowds of people behind barriers, cameras flashing, reporters shouting questions. The red carpet stretched from the street to the theater entrance. It was longer than Miguel expected, brighter, more overwhelming. "Are you ready?" the driver asked, looking at them in the mirror. Miguel's mother took a deep breath. "Yes, we are ready." The driver got out and opened their door. The noise hit them first, shouting, music, camera flashes like lightning. Miguel stepped out first, then helped Maria, then his mother. They stood together on the red carpet, holding hands, blinking in the bright lights. A woman with a microphone rushed over. "You must be the Rodriguez family. Miguel, it is so wonderful to meet you. Can we ask you some questions?" She was smiling big, excited. Miguel looked at his mother. She nodded. "Okay," Miguel said. "Miguel, how does it feel to be here tonight? To be on the red carpet at a Hollywood premiere?" The woman held the microphone toward him. Miguel thought about it. "It feels amazing. But the best part is not being here. The best part is that my sister is healthy, that she has her medicine, that my family is okay. That is what really matters." The reporter smiled. "That is beautiful. And Maria, how are you feeling?" Maria stepped forward. She was not shy at all. "I feel good. I can breathe now. And I love my dress." She spun around, making the pink fabric swirl. Everyone watching laughed. It was a warm sound. A happy sound. The reporter asked a few more questions. Then other reporters wanted to talk to them too. Miguel's mother answered their questions with grace. She talked about how hard it had been, how scared she was, how one act of kindness changed everything. Then Miguel saw him. Vin Diesel was walking down the red carpet toward them. He wore a sleek black suit. Cameras flashed all around him. Fans screamed his name, but his eyes were focused on the Rodriguez family. He was smiling that same warm smile from 6 weeks ago. "Miguel," Vin called out. He walked faster, leaving his own handlers behind. He reached Miguel and knelt down, just like he had that first night. "Look at you, looking sharp in that suit, buddy." Miguel felt himself smile so big his face hurt. "Hi, Mr. Diesel, thank you for inviting us. Thank you for everything." Vin pulled Miguel into a hug. It was a strong hug, the kind that made you feel safe. "You are welcome, but call me Vin. We are friends now." He let go and looked at Maria. "And this must be the famous Maria." "How are you feeling, Princess?" Maria giggled. "I am good. The medicine works really good. I do not cough anymore." Vin's eyes got soft. He touched her cheek gently. "That is the best news I have heard all week." Then he stood and faced Miguel's mother. "Mrs. Rodriguez, it is an honor to see you again." Miguel's mother had tears in her eyes. "Thank you. Thank you for saving my daughter. Thank you for giving my son his childhood back. Thank you for caring about strangers." Her voice broke. Vin took her hands in his. "You raised an incredible young man. He reminded me why I do what I do, why I work hard. It is all about family, all about taking care of the people we love." Miguel showed me that in the purest form. "So thank you. Thank you for raising him right." They stood there for a moment. This famous movie star and this cleaning lady and her 2 children. The cameras flashed around them. Reporters shouted questions. But in that moment it was just them. Just people. Just human beings connecting over love and kindness and family. Vin turned to the cameras. "Everyone, I want you to meet the Rodriguez family. This is Miguel, who worked every day selling flowers to help his sick sister. This is Maria, who fought hard to get better. And this is Mrs. Rodriguez, who works 2 jobs to provide for her children. These are real heroes, not the characters I play in movies. Real heroes." The crowd erupted in applause. Miguel felt overwhelmed. All these people clapping for them, for their family. It was too much. But Vin kept his hand on Miguel's shoulder, steady and reassuring. "Come on," Vin said. "Let us go inside. I want you to meet some people, and then we are going to watch a movie together." They walked down the red carpet together. Vin stayed with them the whole time, making sure they were comfortable. He introduced them to other actors, to directors, to producers. Everyone was kind. Everyone wanted to hear their story. Miguel's mother kept wiping happy tears from her eyes. Inside the theater, they had special seats in the front row. Maria sat between Miguel and their mother. Vin sat next to Miguel. The lights dimmed. The movie started. It was an action movie with cars and explosions and exciting chase scenes. Maria was mesmerized. Miguel's mother kept sneaking glances at her children, making sure they were okay, making sure this was real. During a quiet moment in the movie, Vin leaned over to Miguel. "I want to tell you something," he whispered. "When I was young, about your age, my family struggled too. We did not have much money. I remember what it felt like. That fear, that worry. I promised myself that if I ever made it big, I would help people who were going through the same thing. You reminded me of that promise. You reminded me why it matters." Miguel looked up at him in the darkness. "Really, you were like me. Very much like you. Hardworking, dedicated to family. Willing to do whatever it took," Vin smiled. "Look where that determination took me. Imagine where it will take you." Miguel thought about that. He had been so focused on just surviving, just getting through each day. He had not thought about the future, about what he might become, about what dreams he might achieve. But now, sitting in this theater, next to this successful man who came from struggle just like him, Miguel let himself imagine. Maybe he could be someone important someday too. Maybe he could help people. Maybe he could make a difference. After the movie ended, there was a special party, but Vin asked if the Rodriguez family wanted to skip it. "I know parties are not really your thing, and it is late. Maria looks tired. How about I give you a ride home instead? We can talk more in the car." Miguel's mother looked relieved. "Yes, please. Thank you." They left through a side entrance, avoiding more cameras. The big black car was waiting. They all climbed in. Maria fell asleep immediately, her head on her mother's lap. The car pulled away from the theater, heading back to their neighborhood. "I have been thinking," Vin said as they drove. "Miguel, you are a smart kid. Your mother says you do well in school." "He is top of his class," Miguel's mother said proudly. "That is what I thought." Vin pulled out a folder. "I want to set up a college fund for you." "And one for Maria too." so that when you finish high school, you can go to any college you want. You will not have to worry about paying for it. You can focus on learning, on becoming whoever you want to be. Miguel stared at him. College? But that is so far away, and so expensive. Exactly why we should start now, Vin said. Education is important. It opens doors. It creates opportunities. You have the determination and the heart. Now you will have the resources too. Miguel's mother could not speak. She just cried silently, holding Maria and looking at Vin with such gratitude it was almost painful to see. The car pulled up to their building. It looked small and old compared to the fancy theater they just left. But it was home. Vin helped them out of the car. He walked them to the door. Thank you, Miguel said. It seemed like such a small word for such a big feeling. Thank you for everything. For the medicine. For tonight. For believing in me. Vin knelt down one more time. Miguel, listen to me. You do not need me to be a hero. You already are one. What you did for your family working so hard at such a young age, that is real courage. That is real strength. I just gave you some help. But you did the hard part. You showed up every day. You did not give up. That is all you. Remember that. Miguel hugged him. A long, tight hug. Vin hugged him back, this big strong man holding this small boy like he was precious. When they finally let go, Vin stood up. He shook hands with Miguel's mother. He gently touched Maria's sleeping head. Take care of each other. That is what matters most. We will, Miguel's mother promised. They watched as Vin got back in the car. He waved one more time before the car drove away, disappearing into the night. Miguel and his mother stood there for a moment, Maria asleep in her arms, both of them processing everything that had happened. Finally, they went inside. Miguel's mother put Maria to bed in her new pink dress. She was too tired to change her. Miguel took off his suit jacket but kept the rest on. He wanted to remember this night. Every detail. He lay in bed, staring at the ceiling. 6 weeks ago, he was a poor boy selling flowers on a street corner. Tonight, he walked a red carpet. He met famous people. He watched a movie premiere. But more importantly, his sister was healthy. His family was secure. They had hope for the future. All because one person stopped. One person listened. One person cared. Miguel thought about what Vin said. About being a hero. He did not feel like a hero. He just felt like a boy who loved his family. But maybe that was what being a hero meant. Not having superpowers or doing impossible things. Just loving people. Just not giving up. Just doing your best even when things are hard. He made another promise to himself that night. The same promise he made weeks ago, but stronger now. He would remember this feeling. This gratitude. This awareness of how one act of kindness could change everything. And when he grew up, he would pay it forward. He would help others. He would be someone's Vin Diesel. Someone's miracle. Maria stirred in her sleep. She mumbled something about princesses and movies. Miguel smiled. Tomorrow she would wake up and probably not remember much of tonight. But her body would remember the medicine it needed. Her life would remember being saved. And that was what mattered. Outside, the city continued its endless movement. Millions of people living their lives. Some struggling, some succeeding, some hoping, some dreaming. And somewhere in that vast city, maybe there was another Miguel, another kid trying to help their family, another person who needed someone to see them. To care, to help. Miguel closed his eyes. He fell asleep thinking about all the good that could happen when people chose kindness. When they chose to see each other. When they chose to help. The world felt a little less scary. A little more hopeful. A little more like a place where miracles were possible. Because Miguel had learned the truth. Miracles were not magic. They were not accidents. Miracles were what happened when good people chose to do good things. When love was stronger than fear. When humanity remembered to be human. And on this night, in a small apartment in a big city, that truth felt as real as the stars above, as solid as the ground below, as certain as the love that held a family together. Miguel Rodriguez, the little boy who sold flowers and did not know his customer was Vin Diesel, was finally at peace. Finally at home. Finally ready to dream about a future that was bright and full of promise. A future that was possible because someone, somewhere, decided to care.